Turns out that Noah isn't the only one in this house that has to hate read Ross Douthat. But when I saw that there was an opinion piece in the New York Times titled, "Did Women Ruin the Workplace?" I knew I was going to have to dive in. Now, to be fair, even the dingbats at the Times realized pretty quickly that they needed to rethink the phrasing of this. After a presumable mountain of creative suggestions about where they could stick that fucking headline, they replaced it with a slightly less offensive version. Did liberal feminism ruin the workplace? And the subtitle is, and if so, can conservative feminism fix it? And I know what you're thinking. Fuck you. And well thought, I might add. But you're probably also asking, what the fuck is conservative feminism? What would you even be conserving? Well, for the answer to that, you could either hate read 25 pages worth of transcript between Ross and two self-avowed critics of feminism named Helen Andrews and Leah Labresco Sargent, or you could listen to me tell it how hard it can go fuck itself. See, the primary contention in the whole stupid discussion is the idea that feminism feminized the workplace. And in a stereotype reinforcement that early Disney cartoons would be proud of, they go on to define feminized workplace as timid, emotional, gossipy, and, of course, too woke. And this, sound the klaxons, please, puts America at a disadvantage against more ruthless, read sexist countries. But ultimately, it doesn't matter what the argument is. If your starting point is that women, or feminism, even could ruin the workplace, then your starting point is that the natural inhabitants of the workplace are men. That women are some kind of foreign aberration that the workplace has to absorb, rather than just other people it has to accommodate. There's no way to start with that question and have a non-sexist discussion unless the answer is just no. And let's not pretend that these idle musings don't have real-world consequences. Right before we were set to record, I saw a story about this douche nozzle in New York who's suing his former employer for not accommodating his refusal to work with women because it was religious sexism. The asshole in question, Paul Estapa, was let go from his HVAC job because he insisted on following the Billy Graham rule. That is, he refused to be alone in a room or van or work site or whatever with a woman. And despite the fact that the only woman working for the company was a lesbian, he fussed and fought about it and refused to do his job if there was going to be lady bits around. Now, he rightly got fired. The company disputes the fact that this was the reason, or at least the sole reason, and I'm inclined to agree. If for no other reason than the guy sounds like a Class A asshole, and I'd be tempted to believe any negative thing they said about him. But regardless, we should all be offended at the idea that businesses should accommodate a personal belief with such an obviously sexist outcome. Like, how the fuck is a woman in this job supposed to get ahead if she's excluded from calls just because this somebody else's sincerely held misogyny? Anyway, just a reminder that questions like, do women belong in the workplace, are about as productive as rehashing the questions about race and IQ. It's antiquated bullshit that only serves to reinforce harmful stereotypes and hurt real people. And as tempted as I am to say that means it has no place in the New York Times, that's kind of been their thing since about 1851, so what do I know? Anyway, on that reminder, I'll wrap things up and hand you back over to Noah, Heath, and Eli.